My name is Kale, and I'm an addict. I'm addicted to surfing. In all seriousness, I am actually addicted to surfing, and so are thousands of other people the world over. And I think it's actually one of the healthiest addictions you can have. This is what it's like to be a surfer. Don't forget to subscribe now. I mean, sure, surfing might put pressure on your relationships.
How long are you going surfing for?
I don't think this is going to work. And people might ask you why you've only chosen to fake tan from the middle of your neck upwards. But if you ask pretty much any surfer around the world, the decision to get into the sport was the best decision of their life. Surfing essentially gives you a new yardstick with which to measure up against every single other experience in life. Unfortunately, almost everything else seems to fall short compared to it. Travel, work, leisure. These are all great things, don't get me wrong, but at the back of every surfer's mind is that tiny little voice saying, please, more waves. A surfer's life becomes surfing. If you're not doing it, it's on your mind. When there are no waves, you're imagining that there are. Essentially what happens is you develop two lives, your surfing life and your non-surfing life, and often the two cross over. Fred, can you please pass the McFanning?
What?
But that's not to say that surfing is this unhealthy obsession like gambling or drugs or alcohol. I mean, if you think about it, what's unhealthy about this? Beyond the obvious physical benefits of surfing, such as high-intensity interval training, sun exposure and vitamin D production, and soaking up negative ions like a boss, there's also a huge neurological benefit to the sport. And this is where we have to talk about one of my favourite topics. It's flow state. According to Stephen Cutler, renowned author on the topic, flow is an optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and perform our best. I think flow state and surfing are intricately intertwined because without a certain degree of flow while surfing, you would quite literally probably die. Flow is induced in these perceived experiences where a total present state awareness is required to survive, and surfing is absolutely defined by this characteristic. Any surfer knows the feeling of being in flow during a session. They can't fall off, they can't make a mistake, they catch all the best waves, and just generally they feel unstoppable. Getting into flow may be why surfing is so damn addictive, and why the general surfing stereotype is one of a happy, playful person. Flow is known to produce neurological changes in the brain in a significantly beneficial way for up to 3 days after, and is actually being put to use as a legitimate therapy for this reason. So surfing sounds pretty great about now, right? But know this, it's also not easy. Surfing takes a huge commitment of time and money. If I had to calculate how much time I'd spent in the car chasing waves, it'd probably be around this many hours over the last 17 years. Almost 6,200 hours of my life spent in the car chasing, checking, and hunting surf. Add in plane travel and transit time, and it's probably more like 7,000 hours. That's 291 days or 41 weeks of my life. Shit, that's a lot. I'm never going to get that back. but it's totally worth it. I could have had other careers. I could have excelled at language or art or business, but I chose surfing. In fact, I didn't have a choice. Surfing infected me. It entered my veins and spread through my system like an insatiable disease, except this disease is kind of the best kind of disease. And this is where it all comes back to, the moments where you've gone and scored epic waves and you know you're about to go and score more epic waves again. It's so hard to explain the anticipation, the rush of endorphins which bleed from your glands at the thought of catching another awesome wave. But I hope that today we've nearly got there with this video. This was what it's like, and you should subscribe to the channel now. This was What It's Like with me, Kale Brock, and whilst you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let me know what else you want to see on the show in the comments. Don't forget, you can also follow me on Instagram at Kale's Broccoli to keep up to date between videos. And hey, why don't you check out these other clips you can watch here.